Hello everyone, and thank you for tuning in. Welcome to my channel. Okay, it's finally arrived, the Eachine 110, which is Eachine's copy of the C127, I believe, from another manufacturer which you can get on AliExpress or something like that. And that in itself is a copy of the military style, or the military drone. I think it's called the Black Hornet or something like that. I remember seeing a video a few years ago, and the cost was something like about $190,000 or $90,000. I can't quite remember, but it's an awful lot of money for such a small thing. So in effect, Eachine have finally got in the act of these little things, and we're just going to take a very brief look at what you get in the box. Before we do, let's have a quick look what they're saying about this on the box. One key takeoff and landing. It's got a camera, 720 I believe. Optical flow, 6-axis gyro, it's 2.4 gigahertz transmission, and that is probably accounting for the limited range. I believe this is about 100 meters flying range. So obviously the further you go out, the further that's going to interfere with the 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi. Okay, we've got a it's a proprietary battery, so I've got the 3 battery version. We'll have a look at that shortly. A USB charger, it's 4-channel, ready to fly, and it's easy to fly, which based upon other Eachine helicopters and quads, they are relatively easy to fly. Yeah, okay, so there's just confirmation of the details there. Flight time is 15 minutes, flying weight 75 grams, and the length is 228 millimeter, and propeller height is 230 millimeter. And on the back, it just goes to show you basic how to put in the battery. We'll have a quick look at that shortly. Okay, I've got a mode 2 version, so let's have a look at what you get in the box. Okay, here's the box opening of the Eachine 110, and we are faced with a set of instructions. Always good. I see the typeface is a bit larger now on compared to some of their previous offerings in terms of instructions. You don't need a magnifying glass to read them. Okay, that all seems very good, quite well explained, as a provisional overview would seem. So you're going to need 4 AA batteries for the transmitter, and some basic flying skills, or flying skill tips there that you need. Okay, and a basic problem solver. Next page here is your app instructions for Google, iOS and Android, and the same again on the rear for Chinese. Okay, very nicely packaged, I must say. And here is the little helicopter itself. It's very hard to imagine it. Only a few years ago these were meant to be high-grade military equipment. Just goes to show you how fast some manufacturers can take a basic idea and build their own technology just from just from pictures. I'm sure the military haven't actually released this for sale to the general public, so they've taken some pictures, I imagine, and built in their own technology to it, well, put in existing technology to it. So let's pull this battery forward. Right, so okay, battery connectors there, USB charger, yeah, very, I like the way it's sort of like almost DJI-esque packaged. Now, some comments I was reading on Ali Shamao's channel, I believe, when he was reviewing this a couple of weeks ago, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, he didn't like the way that this was hooked up to an app, and he was alleging, with or without any evidence, I don't know, that the app actually steals your data. Well, I wouldn't be surprised about that. And so a couple of comments have already been received saying, well, I'm going to change the camera out to 5.8 gig. Could it be done? Yeah, of course it could be done. You just got to get the right camera to replace what you see here, I suppose, and yeah, off you go. 5.8 gigahertz. You might even increase your range, because the Wi-Fi, which would have been here, is not going to interfere with the 2.4 gigahertz transmission. So yeah, that looks very, very good quality. Yeah, very, very good quality. Also in the box we have a USB charger, a spare rear blade, and a small little screwdriver, and a spare set of main blades. This looks like a fairly run-of-the-mill transmitter with 4 AA batteries required to power it, and a sliding switch for your speed settings, 1 key landing and 1 key takeoff, and I've got the Mode 2 version, so up and down, throttle up and down, yaw, with right, left, forward, backwards. Yeah, it looks all fairly good. I do notice that on the transmitter I can't see anywhere to put your mobile phone. Maybe I'm missing something there on the instructions. Let's just have a look to see. As I say, it's only a very quick preliminary look. You would have thought there would have been, as this is app enabled, you would have thought they would have provided a mobile phone holder. No, there's nothing on there at all. So you need a you need an app there to get the best out of this particular machine, but they do not provide a mobile phone holder. I don't think I'm missing anything on the back here. So it looks as though you might have to try and stuff the phone yourself in between here. But yeah, I think that's the only way you're going to get the mobile phone. Yeah, because when you're controlling something with an app, you really want to see the phone as well, don't you? To see what the actual radio control item you're flying is. Okay, right, we'll give it a charge, and we'll come back with a little test flight. So see you shortly. Well, back again with the Eachine 110, little spy helicopter, military helicopter type thing. Okay, I went and downloaded the Sentry app for Android, and in my experience, for my example, it was found to be quite useless. At very best, it was intermittent. I did manage to take some photographs, but only as and when it felt like it. Majority of the time I tried to take a photograph, it stated it was not connected. The maximum video that I could get was 2 seconds, which wasn't very good at all. So following on from the comments from Ali Shamayo, and I hope I pronounced that right, apologies if I've got it wrong, I looked into the possibility of converting it to 5.8 gigahertz FPV, and surprisingly I found it very, very easy to do. And I'll give you I'll upload some photographs now in actual fact, and you can have a look at some of the pictures I've taken. But basically all you need to do is undo 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws from this side. 1, 2, 3, 4 screws from this side. This is a silicone type rubber band, goes around the top, that will just lift off, and this is a plastic ring here just holding these two parts in at the back, and that will just prise off, so they're not even glued. One word of caution is when you're separating, I found it easier to separate this half first. Let me just remove the battery, I'll show you. Separate this half first with this half still screwed in, and you'll find it a little bit easier just to remove it. Then you can remove this part, but be careful when you do it. Now what I've found, this is the Wi-Fi module, and this camera is enclosed in this part here. Now what I found is I've used an Eachine TX06 split camera, and I found that the camera itself was a very snug fit into the forward facing part of this camera housing. You don't need the rear part because it's such a snug fit. It you know, it fits perfectly, and you can still manipulate the camera up and down. So right, with all that said, oh, the other thing I will say is the connectors, these wires go into the flight control board, and you'll need to note the positioning of the wires, because they are you won't need, there are 2 wires that come from the TX06. There are 3 wires going on here, but you'll just need to concentrate on the positioning of these wires. Okay, so make sure you put positive to positive as per the original connector. Okay, this part of the Wi-Fi aerial is held on with a zip tie, so just carefully snip that off and put a new zip tie in when you're reassembling. Right, let me demonstrate for you that it's all working, and what I'll do, I'll upload some footage that I've taken out in the garden. I can't go out flying with it today, it's just too windy for this little thing, which I think is weighs what, 75 grams, something like that. So let me just turn this on, I'll calibrate it, and I'll show you the FPV signal which is coming from this drone. It all works very well. What I might do, what you will notice is I've managed to do all of this without destroying any of the bodywork at all. How you do it, it's up to you. You might choose to put a longer aerial outside, maybe trailing out elsewhere, but I thought I might use a little bit of hot glue and just hold it down. But initial test flights have produced no problems at all. Okay, so up and down to bind, and down and to the left with both sticks to calibrate. Okay, so hopefully if we concentrate on that little pilot there, okay, there we go, and we have not Wi-Fi 5.8 view. So I've done a recording just in the garden. Well, it's a little bit sheltered from the wind, so I'll upload that. All in all, I didn't really want to muck about on this because it's brand new, but the app was so awful, I wasn't really getting any reliable feed from it at all. At best, at the very best, the images coming through were very laggy, lasting a maximum of 2 or 3 seconds, and that it wasn't very good at all. So I think this is a better compromise. My suspicion, or my hope, is that you might get a little bit longer range when flying, because obviously now you don't have the 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi interfering with the 2.4 transmitter signal. So there's my little conversion of the new Eachine E110. I'll go out and give it a test and upload another video as and when I can, as and when the weather permits me to do so. So okay then, until the next video, take care. Cheerio.